face to face. To Dr. Michael Stone, Tommy Lynn Sells is a rare specimen.
Sells was, in his heyday, a particularly vicious killer. It's as though he had it in for all of mankind. He wanted to destroy the world.
He may be one of the few living serial killers who is a Category 22, the most evil on Stone's scale.
The crimes of Sells were meted out so indiscriminately, whether they were men, women, children, killed in the same way that you might step on roaches in the kitchen.
Tommy Lynn Sells may hold the key to understanding the most evil, most cold-blooded killers.
The thought going through my head at the moment is Dante's Inferno that starts out, "Give up all hope, ye who enter."
Dr. Michael Stone is on a journey to understand the minds of the most cold-blooded serial murderers. They torture with no emotion, destroy lives without remorse. Today, he is making his way to a man who may be one of the most evil men of our time, Tommy Lynn Sells.
Mr. Sells, I'm Dr. Stone. They got this glass here so neither one of us gets the face of the other, you know.
Well, no, this is as close as you want to get.
Neither one of us going to kill the other.
I think I'm done with all that for now.
Yeah.
Tommy Lynn Sells has been called the cross-country killer. He may have killed as many as 70 people in a dozen states. He was a drifter, crisscrossing the country by hopping trains, finding victims along the way. Sells guides Dr. Stone through his tortured past. Born in 1964, he claims he was abandoned by his mother, sexually molested by a neighbor.
You understand?
I do.
I had a screwed up childhood, no doubt in my mind about that.
At the age of 14, he ran away. 2 years later, he had his first kill during a chance encounter at a house he was breaking into.
And I went up there to look to see what was going on, and I seen this man performing oral sex on a little boy. And I said, oh no, that dude's dying. Yeah. I know I snapped, something just went blank in me, and I know I had a pistol in my pocket, and I knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
It was pretty well that simple.
Yeah.
But after I did it, it was like a rush, just like a shot of dope.
Once Tommy had a taste for murder, he couldn't stop. He traveled from state to state. Unlike Ted Bundy or Gary Ridgway, who only targeted women, Tommy Lynn Sells would target virtually anyone, surprising them when they least expected it.
I walked over here to the edge of the house, to the back edge.
Some of the people you killed, they could be men, they could be women, they could be kids. It was like an equal opportunity.
I didn't form a pattern as most.
Yeah, and therefore it was like anybody was fair game.
Well, the people don't matter. It's the crime.
Yeah.
It's the sensation of the blood. The rush itself is the high.
So altogether, about how many you killed, the question is, and you think your answer is what?
See, you're trying to sew me up in a wow. I don't know. You know, do the math. A couple, 3 year, 4 year, for 20 years. What does that add up to? 50 to 70. I'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably more.
On the night of his last murder, he broke into this trailer where 2 girls were asleep. When Sells was caught, police videotaped him walking through the crime scene.
I tried to get in this door right here. I was trying to shimmy it and wasn't having no luck at it. Then I walked around over here.
There's a difference between shooting somebody in the head and cutting the throat takes longer, more suffering. Cutting the belly, that takes even longer. See what I'm saying? I'm saying that if your main idea was, well, I'm going to get rid of this other person so that person doesn't suffer, then I'll do it in the quickest way. And sometimes it looked like you did a way that took a bit more time.
You're saying I enjoyed what I was doing?
I don't know.
Well, something about the blade making a slice on you, seeing it pierce open, seeing it gap, and watching the sensation of it all. Maybe I came addicted to that.
Sells' methods were varied.
This window here was open.
Sometimes he used a knife, other times a gun.
So the knife and the blood, that was a better fix than you could get from other ways. A gun, for example.
Nah, I don't like guns. They're dangerous.
Well, I reckon a knife in your hands is pretty dangerous too, Tommy. Truth to tell.
You think? Don't take rocket scientists, does it?
In one case, he murdered an entire family, bludgeoning a pregnant woman, her 3-year-old son, and then her unborn baby to death.
Was there anything different the first time when you killed a person in Mississippi? Was there a different rush, a different feeling?
That first one was like, I can still see it in slow motion. And each one after that became more...
Speeded up?
More routine. I can't find the dragon I'm chasing no more. I can't find that rush, that same release of anger I felt that first time.
Well, there was a release of anger.
Oh, without a doubt. It's like busted a piece of glass and there's just little shivers all up in there.
It's hard for me to picture all that where there wouldn't be at least some little element of power. Life and death is in Tommy Sells' hands rather than somebody else's, you know. Like, I have the power, like God has, to say who shall live and who shall die. That's a hell of a power.
Who has?
God.
God. You believe in a God, and you're a psychiatrist. You're full of too.
Well, people talk about that godlike power. They use the word as a way of speaking, not necessarily whether they are religious or not.
No, I wasn't playing God. Tommy's not a god. Tommy is a very complex, screwed up individual.
On the night of his last murder, he went into the bedroom of 2 sleeping girls.
I woke this girl up, and she jumped up and told this girl to go get her mom. I stabbed her here, and then she like jumped back, and then I cut her like this right here. And she fell down right here. Was no resistance. I just killed her. And this little girl up here, I walked over here and I went like this.
One of the girls survived. Her throat slit. She walked over a mile to get police. Sells was finally arrested.
Was she moving, trying to get away or something?
No, she just laid there.
Science has shown that the brains of cold-blooded psychopaths do not have normal emotional responses.
Did she do any screaming or yelling or anything when she got cut?
Yeah, but not real loud.
Okay.
Main thing she said was, go get Mom.
As Dr. Stone probes the mind of Tommy Lynn Sells, he finds that the cross-country killer fits that chilling profile.
I think that remorse is kind of an alien. It seems like it doesn't have much relevance to your life.
Has none.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I can figure out how to release that anger, how to release that rage, how to turn all this shattered glass off, I think then I might feel remorse.
And if you did feel remorse, what about that? Would that be...
I'd probably go ahead and just hang myself or something.
To Dr. Stone, Tommy Lynn Sells is even more callous than Gary Ridgway or Ted Bundy.
He is the most cold-blooded killer I've ever met. In fact, he got a rush, actual pleasure, from seeing people suffer. For that reason, I would place him on level 22 on my scale.
Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Michael Stone meets with serial killer Tommy Lynn Sells in order to understand what makes some psychopaths so cold-blooded.
It was like a rush. It was like chasing the dragon.
What within the mind of Tommy Len's cells enables him to commit such atrocious acts, even find pleasure in seeing others die?
And I stabbed her, like right here somewhere.
These researchers are exploring that question, and the answer may lie in fear itself. At the University of Southern California, Michelle Fung studies psychopaths.
They don't have the same experience of fear or anxiety that most people do. So when they're thinking about committing a crime, telling a lie,